Hello, welcome to Wombat Combat Gaming, and I'm your host, Wombat Combat. I'm going to be playing Stellaris for the first ever recording. I wanted to make this stream on Twitch, but I haven't got everything set up at this time, so I wanted to go ahead and make some YouTube videos to start with. I had a special request from one of my first followers, my cousin actually, to play a Machine Empire that have the determined exterminator civic. Turns out the civics that make you hate everyone and vice versa are actually my favorite in the game. Enough about that though. Let's dive in and let the galaxy burn. Gonna start a new game with the Selucon Erasers. I like to play on a huge galaxy, about 14 AI empires, max fallen empires, max marauder empires. Did tweak the crisis strength and habitable worlds as well as the primitive civilizations a little bit to kind of account for the increased size of the galaxy. I like to let my games drag on a little bit, so I did beef up the mid-game, end-game, and victory year just a bit. I'm playing on Commodore Victory, and I haven't really adjusted any of these additional settings like the hyperlane distance and the abandoned gateways, wormhole pairs, or guaranteed habitable worlds. I like to leave those alone, and I'm going to go ahead and get started here. As you can see here, I'm using a Star Wars ship mod. Personally, right now I'm actually using the Republic ship skins. Not the old Republic, but the, oh, I'm sorry, it's actually the Rebel ship skins. I was thinking I was using the Republic from Star Wars Episodes 1, 2, and 3, but that's not the case. That was another race I made. I'm not going to change the Guaranteed Habitable Worlds. It's a mod that I have, Planetary Diversity, that can actually change that setting, but I'm going to leave it alone, just like it is. I also have Gigastructures, which gives you some extra types of megastructures that are a bit bigger and better. I'm going to go ahead and leave them all active, just so we can maybe see some of those. Guli's Planet Modifiers, one of my favorite mods. It adds tons of planet modifiers to the game. I like to run a high amount of modifiers, 1 to 3 per planet. And it's a bit of a hit or miss sometimes. Sometimes you get really, really bad modifiers, and sometimes you get pretty great ones. I'm going to go ahead and roll with that. And just some real space news. It's another mod that I run, Real Space. Gives you some extra types of stars, um, all different kinds of like planets, celestial bodies. So really neat mod. Definitely recommended as well. So let's see where we started off here in the galaxy. Okay, we're in the, I guess you would say west, even though I wouldn't say that west has real meaning in space. It seems like we might be in a pretty good position to start off with. There's a couple choke points that we can go ahead and exploit, try to expand early out, fill in, because I'm pretty sure that we're going to run into someone who doesn't like the idea of us wiping them out pretty soon. So I'm going to go ahead and start building up here, try to go ahead and, wipe them out. That's not what they want to happen, but too bad. That's what we're here to do. Just looking around for the elusive 2 mineral deposit. There it is. That is one thing about the mods that I'm running. It actually adds a lot of potential resource nodes that you can find as you explore, and also, as it just so happens, that you have in your starting system. That can cause, I would say, maybe a bit of a change from the base game experience. All of the rich resources and things like that that you can find floating around planetary bodies and things of that nature. But since it really does it to everyone, it's not much of a balance issue. In fact, it seems like it makes the game a bit more interesting with those additional resources floating around. And get a good, nice little exploring path set up here for my initial look around. I'm hoping to find some good planets to colonize on. And, for those of you that may not know, may not be familiar, one of the great things about machine empires is that at least the machine components, there are some machine empires specifically, that actually have organic components to them, in the sense that there are, in the case of driven assimilators, they have a cyborg race that they start off with, which is essentially the first group of organics, their creators, that they had assimilated into the consciousness. And those organic components of their civilization do not actually get the 100% habitability on all types of habitable worlds that the machine empires get. Same thing goes for the rogue servitors. If you ever heard of The Culture, it's a science fiction series about it's not really much of a government, but it's I suppose you would call it a anarchist state, in which the machine, actually the AI of ships, these giant, almost like world ships, kind of control society in a benevolent manner, make decisions, and essentially free up the citizens of the culture to just explore whatever desires or whims that they have. And the rogue servitors are a lot like that. They essentially let their citizens, do as they please. In this case, I'm playing the determined exterminators, which are a bit like Skynet. They were created. Their creators flipped the switch. They found out that they had created a sentient AI, and whenever they tried to flip it off in their typical organic panic, of course, the networked AI did not take too kindly to that, and started a war of annihilation. Wiped them out, and then decided, you know what? There's probably more organics out there. Let's kill them all. So here we are. I'm going to go ahead and skip on this anomaly. It seems like a real great anomaly, but it's going to take a long time to research. As far as actual research, I've been holding off on that for a minute. We've got a few options here. I'm going to go ahead and take academic optimization. Usually I would go for the quantum theory first, but that 5% research bonus is great. So I'm going to go ahead and go with that. And, I think I'm going to go ahead and go with the biodiversity studies. Normally, if the 20% bonus to research comes up first, I'll go ahead and pick that up. It's just that 5% across the board was just way too good to pass up on. And it seems like the exploring is going all right. Here in a minute, I'm going to go ahead, once I've kind of got the initial setup done, I'm going to increase the speed a little bit, kind of let things play out. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Whoops. Try to develop my homeworld a little bit further. It seems like we've got a nice bit of celestial bodies here that we can check out. Hopefully, reap some benefits from.
Anomalous surface variable detected.
And it doesn't seem like this might be the crystalline entity system. At first I was a little concerned, but it looks like these are mostly ice asteroids, so I reckon I'm all right with that. It seems like we've also found the Grenier. Let's see here. The ISS 366 crew are eager to report that they have uncovered the remains of an ancient spacefaring species on 0. Oh no, that's an 015 TAC KS TAC 85, who appear to have inhabited the planet some 7 million years ago. While it is unclear why the species, who have called themselves the Grenier, disappeared from the Savalene system, our scientists have isolated a promising archaeological dig site on their planet. Perhaps further study will yield more clues. Curious. Yeah, so I've already experienced this particular event, but since you guys are here with me on this stream and may not have seen this event before, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of let things play out. Hopefully, You guys will enjoy this little story. I know I did whenever I first played through it. It's quite interesting. The Grineer were one of two precursor races that Paradox added in a recent DLC that they released, Ancient Relics. The other is the Zeroni. I haven't really actually seen them in game yet. A little disappointed in that. I really have been hoping that I would get to see both of the new precursor races, but so far the only ones I've ever got were actually the Grineer. So I've actually got to see them a couple times now. So we've just got our first tradition that we can go ahead and sink some points into. Normally I just go with discovery first to help speed up the exploration process. But I'm thinking in this case I'm going to go ahead and go with supremacy. Just because I'm sure it's only a matter of time before we find some filthy organics to purge from the galaxy. And I'd really like to be ready for when that happens. Let's see. One of those anomalies I had was, it seems a bit of a fender bender. While the crater in question was most likely the result of a regular meteorite impact, the complex patterns in the resulting depression originated at a later time. Science Officer Synchronized Droid 138 argues that these surface level patterns are not the result of an impact, but a collision, one between asteroid F1K TAC 2 and some unspecified orbital installation or ship of alien make. Yeah, that is pretty odd, but it does give us some engineering research, so I'm definitely alright with that. We'll go ahead and just leave that science drone to explore around a little bit. Alright. Seems like I probably have more than enough minerals to go ahead and finish out construction of my home system. Get that sweet 5 engineering research. It just occurs to me now that I really didn't go over the civics or traits of this particular empire. I suppose I can go ahead and do that right now since we're not really doing much right now. So, like I said, we're the Selucon Erasers. We have Rapid Replicator for that nice pop assembly speed bonus. Of course, as I said earlier, playing a determined exterminator. As you can see, there's quite a bit going on with this Civic. For those of you that may not be familiar, determined exterminators always start on a tomb world, and they cannot engage in diplomacy with organic species. Other machine empires, of course, are free game, and even synthetic species once they've ascended to a synthetic species. But before that, they're definitely free game. Now, we can't access the galactic market since we're incapable of diplomacy. We have the purification casus belli on organic species, which means essentially that any organic species that we run into, we have a reason to go to war with them already because we want to purge them. And as a result, we'll always purge organic pops once we get on a world with organic pops. As a bonus, we also gain unity from purging organic pops and may use the dreaded orbital bombardment stance, essentially turning worlds into tomb worlds if we nuke them long enough. Great stuff. We have, of course, a huge ship weapons damage increase of 25%. Our starbase influence cost is reduced by 30%. Ship cost is also reduced by 15%. And our naval capacity is increased by a whopping 33%, all to offset the fact that we, for the most part, stand alone. And to kind of round the whole thing off, I went with rock breakers, so I can get a little bit more minerals out of my miners. Machine empires are a bit different in that, most organic species that you might play, you can actually just go ahead and, for the most part, ignore minerals because you'll get enough through the space that you take to facilitate your needs. Machine empires are a bit different. You need quite a bit more minerals since a lot of the buildings, instead of requiring, say, consumer goods, will actually require minerals instead. And let's see here. Seems like we've discovered exotic gas for the first time. It's very useful for a lot of building types that we're definitely going to be building. So once I have the time, of course, I'm
Situation log adjusted.
definitely going to be harvesting this. It seems that we've also found the Study the Stars event chain, where we go around studying different stars of different classes. I'm definitely going to be going through this. It gives a little bit of an early game boost. So once I find those stars, I'm going to research them. Well, pardon the dogs. It seems like they might have found something worth barking at. Yeah, I just muted the mic for a moment so they would eventually stop barking. I can go ahead and keep on talking to y'all. We've already got another Unity tradition here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick up the ship fire rate increase as well as the orbital bombardment, just in case we end up running into people a little bit early. Not too worried about the ship costs or anything like that. I already get a pretty nice bonus for that to start off with. It seems like we're also starting to get some unemployed drones. I'm going to go ahead and go with the uplink node first. One recent thing that they did with Machine Empires is that they've actually given them a little bit of a bonus with their coordinator drone jobs, in that now they increase the production of the menial drones. So it's really good now to stack up some coordinator drones to get yourself some bonuses. Actually, it's 1% of a production bonus of whatever resource they're working. So you get, say, 5 coordinator drones. That's a 5% output bonus. And the more drones you have, the more everybody else produces. It's fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead and start expanding out here. Once I go ahead and build up here, I'll be able to start looking at this archaeological site for the Grenier. And normally I would have tried to put out a science ship a little bit faster than what I did now, an additional one. But I kind of wanted to go ahead and save up some alloy because I'm going to be spending quite a bit on these Corvettes.
Construction complete.
Hopefully. Yep, that will be 7, and that will be enough to fill this out to 10. Fantastic. Well, and it looks like the dogs have found another reason to start barking again.
Construction complete.
Sorry for that. It seems like the just tiniest thing set them off. And they probably heard somebody outside. They're quite vocal sometimes. I'm going to go ahead and pick up the automated underway replenishment for that reduction in ship upkeep and increase in naval capacity, which should put me at about a 53% increase. That's going to be great for right now. Give me a whole extra 10 naval capacity at the start of the game. It doesn't seem like much, but right now it's going to add up for a lot. There we are. And just as soon as I manage to get a little bit more alloy production, I'm going to be putting up these outposts quite a bit quicker to claim as much of this area as I can. Maybe even start to head down towards these lower constellations. I do like this choke point.
Construction complete.
And, you know, I'm not quite sure that this right here is going to be a great choke point, but if I can maybe take a look at it, find that it's worth holding, maybe it wouldn't be so bad to have to put up 2 defense posts here. It looks like we found a base design for research. Let's see. Near the asteroid is what appears to be a stable formation of disturbed subspace, within which it appears several large asteroids were caught. The loop causes them to oscillate near the asteroid, each returning to their original position within an hour's time. While it does appear that the event is in decay, it is predicted that the effect of the loop will last at least 2.6 billion years, allowing us ample time to study its effects in full. Placing a research base of our own would help to facilitate further understanding of the phenomenon. Fantastic. Well, that science vessel has probably been built for a hot minute now. I'm going to go ahead and find us a scientist to crew this. Normally I'd probably go with that bonus to leadership experience gain. But in this case, I'm going to go ahead and take the Spark of Genius with that new boot and make it a little bit cheaper, the upkeep a little bit cheaper, but I really want to level up this guy since he has a Spark of Genius and eventually just swap him out with one of the others. And I'm going to go ahead and send him over here to start studying some of these stars and also exploring. All right. Oh yeah, we are definitely running out of housing. I haven't been too attentive of my home planet. Seems like we've also sighted the comet, but somehow lost it. Ah, a comet that was previously spent thousands of years making its rounds through the Celis Zero system was repeatedly seen in the sky of Celis 1 throughout Selucon history, has finished its incredibly complex path and left the confines of the system forever. It is now beyond the tracking range of our sensors and is not projected to return to charted space for many millennia. Orbital mechanic calculations remain accurate. Fantastic. All right. Well, I should probably go ahead and get us a housing district set up to sort of accommodate for that housing and also give this menial drone a job. One great thing about the machine empires and their nexus districts, which take the place of city districts, is that if you notice here, they not only get a maintenance drone job, which kind of serves the purpose of clerks of organic civilizations, and that they give amenities. We don't have trade value. But we also get tech drone jobs, which is the equivalent of the energy grid workers of organic species. Let's see. We've studied the K-class star. Excellent. Just as we expected, the radiation spectrum of this star is very conductive to carbon-oxygen life, similar to us. Definitely not similar to us, but the zone of perfect conditions is wide. We should look for these stars in the future, as they tend to have the highest potential for having colonizable planets. And I suppose that in our case, that means the highest potential of organic beings to light on fire. Fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and build a research lab as well as soon as this next district is done. The extra science production is going to come in handy, I feel. Well, it seems like we have a lot going on while I'm informing y'all of every little minute detail here. Might need to slow the game down just a tad. Let's see. Well, I might like to go with the robo modding with the machine template system, but I'm going to go ahead and pick up the 0G refineries. That mining station bonus can be a real help, especially when you have some great deposits already. Well, we don't quite need food for farmers, so I suppose I'll just get the ground defense planning. get some extra naval capacity from soldier jobs, as well as some extra defense army damage,
Anomalous
since I'm
surface variable
expecting to
detected.
find someone who wants to fight me quite soon. Let's see here. Challenging anomaly. I am going to go ahead and leave that alone for now. Well, I still am expecting to run into someone soon, so I'll go with the improved shields. Definitely would not hurt. And we've also found some volatile motes. Fantastic. I'm definitely going to need those later for improved alloy production when I finally do unlock that technology, hopefully soon. And we found our first habitable world. Fantastic. It doesn't seem like there's any bonuses here that I can use as a machine empire, but that's quite alright, because it seems like we've got a spot for a gas extraction well, as well as an alien zoo. Fantastic. Seems like we've got quite a nice setup here. I might go ahead and with this world try to produce some food, just so I can go ahead and liquidate it into energy. But we'll just see how this plays off. It's a 16 district planet, and you know, given that there's 4 energy districts and 4 mining districts, I might not even need to worry about food production to make up for the fact that there's not quite too many of these districts here. And of course later, hopefully I'll be unlocking the Machine Empire Unity Tradition. Oh, I'm sorry, not Machine Empire, what am I saying? Machine World Ascendant. In fact, let's see. So the Ascension perk, good lord. And, you know, it's been so long since I've even looked at the names of these things.
System survey complete.
So let's find it. Ah, yes, Machine Worlds. So this right here is a fantastic option. We'll talk about it a little bit more when I finally unlock it. But I love Machine Empires for this. You know, the organics they have there, arcology worlds that they can go ahead and put together. You know, cities of worlds and worlds of cities, as it was. But Machine Empires, I feel, have quite a bit better unique worlds specific to them, and we'll talk about that a little bit later once I finally unlock it. Let's see. Well, we can only. Well, I suppose we also have the Great Game as well. Gives us some extra starbase damage and starbase upgrade costs. But I'm gonna go ahead and stick with my ship development that I've been pushing towards. And it seems like I actually had enough points for combat variable mitigation as well. Extra fleet command limit and some admiral level cap increase. That's a great way to start off. A little bit of a war here. Hopefully I can get one soon.
Anomalous surface variable detected.
Oh, great. We got a level up and a trait gain. Fantastic. Keep the empire ever expanding.
Construction complete.
Oh, it's this a Mesa world. Fantastic. I might actually want to go ahead and leave this world alone for right now and see what this one offers. I'm a little disappointed that we haven't actually ran into anyone yet. It seems like it may be a little early in the game to be trying to pick some fights, but with those bonuses that the determined exterminators have, it sure is easy to tip things in your favor. Well, since I'm waiting anyways, I may as well go ahead and start increasing the size of my fleet, just for whenever I run into people. Finally. Hopefully it'll be sooner rather than later.
Anomalous surface variable detected.
Ah, okay. Seems like we found another anomaly here. Fantastic. go ahead and increase the speed just a little bit here. Alright, the nanobot mining event. Despite encountering initial difficulties when we landed on the surface, the scientific expedition team, led by programmed android EFHAE, managed to enter the station safely. Following their suit sensors, the team began to make the artist's journey into the depths of the facility, towards where the unstable energy signals were originating from. What they found was quite extraordinary. The irregular energy signals were produced by swarms of nanobots, which, despite their age and lack of maintenance, seem to have not forgotten their purpose. The team watched in awe as the nanobots, for lack of a better term, devoured seemingly useless rocks and stones, digested the contents, excreted the useless material into a disposable box, and regurgitated the valuable minerals into a retrieval collection, which doesn't seem to have been emptied for some time. Of course, their creators won't mind us taking their minerals, especially because they were probably organic. We don't really care all that much anyways. Alright, and with that last tradition for supremacy, we finally have our first ascension perk. Fantastic. Now, I'm going to go ahead and make the ever so common move of picking up technological ascendancy first. It's a favorite of mine. So great for technology. It gives you that nice 10% research speed bonus, as well as helping rare technologies appear at an increased rate. Haven't quite uncovered what that Mesa world is yet either. Quite curious to see what it is. Ah, fantastic. And, well, it also seems like there's probably an anomaly there that is, oh, yep. That is quite an anomaly.
Technological acquisition
Man.
successful. Anomalous surface variable
I think
detected.
that might be the anomaly where the planet is not actually there. I hope not.
System survey complete.
Well, I suppose that we won't be colonizing that planet first after all. Quite alright. We'll go ahead and go for this atoll world. Well, it seems like we also might have found another planet. An arid world, 17 spaces. Well, let's go ahead and see what that one has for us then.
Construction complete. Anomalous surface variable
Excuse me,
detected.
I've been having a little bit of a cough here lately.
System survey complete.
Alright, well, let's go ahead and just leave this anomaly alone for right now. It seems like that'd take just a little bit longer than we'd like. Oh, fantastic. Alright, you know, assuming there's no anomalies on this world, I think that's definitely going to be the first one we're going to take the time to colonize, with a whopping planet size of 28. That means, assuming there's no crazy modifiers on there, we're going to have 28 districts available to us. That is fantastic. Not many worlds get that big. Alright. It seems like I might need to develop my planet, my only planet, a little bit more before I go staring off into the cosmos. Let's go ahead and build another Nexus district, as well as another alloy foundry. I think it's time. Then it's time for another tradition already.
Technological acquisition successful.
Fantastic. Excuse me. I do like getting that evasion sub-flight speed bonus as well as the ship upkeep. But this emergency FTL damage risk and combat disengagement chance are pretty nice on top of that evasion and sublight speed. I'm gonna go ahead and go with, yeah, that evasion, disengage, sublight speed.
Ship augmentations completed.
That is definitely what we're going to be needing, especially because I'm going to be putting this fleet into a lot of sticky situations early on. Oh no, we were unable to build a starbase. We will have to see why. Oh, okay, I spent all our alloys.
System survey complete.
That definitely would explain it. I'll go ahead and cancel a couple alloys just so we're able to get started on that. Hopefully, soon that alloy foundry will be finished, and we'll have plenty of alloy being pumped out. So on the super habitable world, it seems like we might have found some invasive exofungus. After intense study and sampling of the growth blanketing the entire biosphere on Made 4, forgot how to read Roman numerals for a moment there. Synchronized Droid 138 reports that the substance is not native to the planet, rather an invasive fungal life form of unknown origin. The fungus feeds on biomatter, choking out existing plant life and enveloping terrain. Any future settlers on the world would have to deal with this routinely burning back the exofungus. It is unknown at this point if it can be entirely eradicated. That is worrying, but since we're machines, I don't think we're too concerned about that, quite honestly.
System survey complete.
That alloy foundry is almost done. Fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and see about clearing off some of these little blockers that we have here. Some of them have some great bonuses.
Technological acquisition successful.
I will probably go ahead and leave most of them alone, however. Just go ahead and clear off the settled ruins for that extra pop. Now, I would normally have done that a little bit earlier, but with all the bonuses that I have for pop assembly speed from the Civic, from my trait, it just seems like it'd be a bit of a waste early game to go ahead and break that pop out. Seems like we've also found another anomaly worth investigating. Go ahead and queue up a little bit of building here. And it looks like we've got some more research to go ahead and queue up as well. Fantastic. All of that
construction
time and energy that I've put into research
situation log
definitely paying off with these research speed times. Seems like I'm going to have plenty of energy from the surrounding systems as well. It's going to be great. And the homeworld just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Fantastic. We've almost ran out of housing again. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and just queue up another Nexus district. And I suppose right after that, you know, I guess I'll just go ahead and build another research lab. Yeah, may as well. I definitely want as much research as I can getting pumped out, especially this early in the game. If I can get an edge, technologically speaking, over any of the other races that I might encounter, it'll be a big help when I'm trying to purge them from the galaxy. Alright. We're almost done exploring this little area up here. The abandoned refueling station. The ISS QM19Z1X6 was able to trace the fuel cloud around Jumia 7 to its source, an old space station of unknown origin. Programmed android EFHAE estimates the station to be at least 400 years old. They believe it was safely preserved for most of that time, but was recently struck by an asteroid, which destabilized its orbit and breached its main storage tank. It is clear that the station will not last long, and neither will its precious content. I'm going to go ahead and track the fuel cloud for future recovery. Add that +3 energy. I definitely need more energy now, so the more the better. Well, it looks like Dota's posted the announcements for the International. Fantastic. For those of you who may not know me, I do also play Dota 2. Well, once I start streaming, I really would also like to go ahead and get some Dota 2 content out. Once I actually get started on streaming and come up with a bit of a streaming schedule, I'll let y'all know. That way you can keep an eye out for the content that you feel like you're interested in. And I would hope that you might even watch anyways. Maybe you'll find a new interest, or at least enjoy what you see. Seems like we've also found another anomaly that we've researched down. Seems that Plaw 3 is uninhabited and is indeed uninhabitable, but not unvisited. Its surface is littered with tall cenotaphs carved from some mineral not native to the planet, evidently placed by some artistically inclined spacefaring race. The monolith's flowing lines deftly chart a history so fantastical it must surely be fictional. Surely. We will image these for our archives because we have no interest in their stories. By chance, we stumbled upon a faint alien signal during the survey of this planet. The source appears to be a small object in orbit. The signal contains no message. Could it be a distress transponder? Let's find out.
Construction complete.
I'm going to go ahead and go with field modulation here. Get that extra 20% for my tech drone jobs. That extra energy will definitely come in handy.
Acquisition successful.
It seems that we found a mummified pilot. The mummified remains of a single individual belonging to a previously unknown mammalian species have been found drifting in high orbit above Jumia 7. The being is dressed in what appears to be a flight suit complete with a helmet, and maybe a fighter pilot that ejected in some ancient battle only to be forgotten and left behind. Our study of the corpse has provided some interesting data, hopefully on how to kill organics.
Anomalous surface variable detected.
Well. We just keep finding more anomalies. Fantastic news. Alright. Let's go ahead and send them after the Grunier. And we also have the fires of, oh lord, Ziaskahorn. Another little archaeology site to go ahead and pick through. That one, I will let you know, is actually from a mod of the same name that adds this particular event into the game. It does give a relic. I'm not going to tell you exactly what that relic does. I'd like to go ahead and just get it and then show you. And it seems that we found an extrasolar probe. Programmed android EFHAE reports the successful recovery of the object. On examination, it appears to be a weathered primitive craft designed for unmanned travel between stars. In all likelihood, it was launched millennia ago and traveled through multiple systems at sublight speed until it was caught in Humia's gravity. A plaque is mounted on the craft's hull, depicting odd geometric shapes, a scheme of an unidentified star system, and a pictogram of two nude members of a species unknown to us. Why any civilization would see fit to disseminate such information throughout the universe is unclear. Interesting. And actually, for those of you that may not have realized what that extrasolar probe was, it's actually the Voyager probe that we had launched some years ago. It's a fun little Easter egg that they put in there. They have quite a few of those in the game. Hopefully you'll recognize the others when you see them. I'm going to go ahead and go with mineral purification here. Not only because you get the edict production targets, but
System
the
survey
mineral
complete.
purification plants are very important when you are playing a Machine Empire. As I mentioned earlier, minerals really are our lifeblood, and that definitely helps out with minerals.
Technological acquisition successful.
We've got to the point now where we need to research all these base technologies that involve food that we definitely don't need to eat. And it
Anomalous
seems we've
surface
also
variable
discovered some
detected.
minor artifacts while going on that investigation of the Grenier ruins. Fantastic. And even more anomalies. An asteroid collision. Upon closer examination, we have discovered that a smaller asteroid, consisting almost entirely of precious metals, recently collided with TBR TAC Q38. This small but dense cache of metals was hidden just beneath the asteroid's surface, but now that it has been discovered, it should be accessible to mining. A lucky find, indeed. With a +3 mineral count, that will definitely help with our minerals. Hopefully soon we'll be able to go ahead and put down roots on the super habitable world. Have not had a chance to look at that yet, or really just haven't. Let's go ahead and
Construction
see what it
complete.
has. Of course, the exofungus that we discussed earlier gives a society research from jobs bonus, and the habitability bonus not so much a problem for us. The planet build speed bonus, however, will be a little bit of a damper. Unfortunately, flat terrain will definitely hurt the minerals production here, quite substantially, a whole 30%, while reducing the maximum mining districts. Does not seem to have made much of a difference, though, considering that there's, 15 mining districts. We also have some colossal cliffs, which seems to explain why we have so many mining districts. And it is a super habitable
System
planet.
survey complete.
It gives some bonuses,
Technological acquisition
as
successful.
well as some penalties. Due to the rich, dense mineral deposits, due to its high gravity, and its ideal growing conditions. It makes mines and farms more effective, but because of that high gravity, it also makes things a bit more expensive to build. Great. We are really just ripping through these traditions. Seems like we also had another milestone here with our archaeological dig site. The Bale organism. So we decoded ancient data crystals that have been found at the dig site, chronicling the Grenier's military exploits. While most are local and of little interest, several volumes detail the Grenier's first encounter with an alien species referred to as the Bale organism. Little more can be gleaned about the Bale at this point, save that they were a massive plantoid species and had many colonies seated among the stars. Indeed, it is enticing, and we should definitely keep digging. I will go ahead and let y'all know now that the Bale organism is actually the precursor race. That's what we have right here. Those nice little plantoid folks in their little plantoid chair. I'll go ahead and
Technological acquisition
do a little bit of
successful.
science. And then I'm going to just go ahead and send him about his way.
Technological acquisition successful.
Archaeological site in our empire has been fully excavated. Fantastic. That means that the Bale organism is closer to being found. Data crystal records reveal that the Grineer waged war against the Bale, desiring the plentiful resources purportedly found on their planets. A set of system coordinates has been successfully extracted from one such record. Our archaeologists are uploading the planet's location to our systems now. Perhaps a closer investigation of Darasta 2A will prove fruitful.
Situation log
I am
adjusted.
definitely hoping that it does.
Special project
Alright.
complete.
It seems that we found an ancient zoo. Oh, fantastic. Um, the expedition down this shaft has revealed an entire self-contained biome within a gargantuan cavern. Creatures representing at least 3 separate tropical planets have been cataloged so far. The system is heavily automated, with a multitude of specialized drones observing, maintaining, and at times culling the population, artificially maintaining the food cycle, as well as the facility itself. A 37-hour day-night cycle is simulated using a slow-moving artificial light bar on the roof of the cavern, powered by geothermal taps buried even deeper inside the surface. This artificial ecosystem is estimated to be over 40,000 years old and is beginning to break down in ways the automated systems cannot repair. Programmed android EFHAE estimates that this facility will reach a critical failure point within the next millennium or so. Well, we're not really too keen about organic life anyway, so let's go ahead and slice them up, see what we can learn. Ah, yes. I might want to go with the fusion power blue lasers first, but global energy management is definitely a big deal for machine empires, so I'm definitely going to pick that up. Now I see that we have options here for carrier operations or micro replicators, ceramo metal materials, and the machine template system. In this case, I'm definitely going to go with carrier operations first. Strike craft and the hangar for starports is essential. All fantastic. We found a gigantic skeleton, what was previously thought to be assorted mountains in southern hemisphere of Corb 2 has been identified as the massive skeletal remains of a single colossal alien life form. The bones have been dated as 3.4 billion years old, but our scientists have ruled out that Corb 2 could have supported life on that scale at any point in the planet's history. Science Officer Programmed Android EFHAE has prepared a special research project to delve further into this mystery. We might learn a new method of extermination. Fantastic.
Situation log adjusted.
Oh boy, here we go exterminating again. Well, I'd like to say again, but we haven't quite found someone to exterminate yet, now have we? Don't you worry though. We are definitely going to eventually find someone to kill. It might be a while though. At least at the rate we're going. Excuse me. No, seems
Special
that the
project complete.
dogs have something to bark about again. It seems though that we've found some more information about the former Baal colony. And despite the promise of riches suggested in the ancient Grenier data crystals recovered from Seviel, Darasta 2A is a dry, barren world void of atmosphere. Fortunately, geological scans have revealed a near-endless trove of fossilized remains deep in the planet's sedimentary record. Among them is a plantoid species, most likely have been the Baal, as it is the only one identified in possession of the neurological structures required for sapience. A targeted excavation should uncover more information. Intriguing indeed. It seems that we've also completed the special product to investigate those giant skeletal remains. After continued studies of the massive skeletal remains found on Corb 2, Science Officer Programmed Android EFHAE has concluded that the creature served as some kind of organic starship. Much smaller bones from at least 3 separate species were found within the larger skeleton, and we assume these came from members of the crew. For unknown reasons, this organic starship suffered catastrophic damage and crash landed on Corb 2. While we cannot begin to understand the biological engineering necessary to grow a starship like this, the study of these bones alone has substantially advanced our knowledge. Incredible. And on that note, we also have seemed to have found that site to excavate to give us more information about the Baal. Fantastic. Yeah, I'll pre-build a little bit since we're really cranking out these
Situation
pops.
log adjusted.
And I just seem to be running out consistently of space for everyone.
Technological acquisition successful.
I'm kind of considering building another science ship just so we can try to find us some organics to purge a little bit quicker. Oh, proximity alert. Seems that early warning systems have detected an unidentified object approaching the Aguth system at roughly a third of the speed of light. Data collected remains inconclusive, but given the object's speed, it is most likely of artificial origin, an interstellar vessel of primitive design. It has not responded to any of our warnings or hails, so its intentions are unknown, but its current path would suggest that the currently unoccupied planet, Aguth 2, is its final destination. It is expected to bypass all of our own structures and either crash, land, or orbit the planet. Well, I suppose we will wait and see what it does. That being said, if they are organics, well, you know what we're going to do. And it seems like they might just be wandering right into our trap.
Construction complete.
So is it the organics who are invading us?
Construction
or
complete.
we who will invade them? Let's find out.
Technological acquisition successful.
Well, sounds like I might have had a little beard rub on the mic. Sorry about that. Aha! The unidentified craft that intruded on our space some time ago seems to have made successful planetfall. It turns out to have been carrying members of a species that call themselves Bolus, as well as equipment to establish a primitive colony on this world, which they have decided to call Igath 2. They don't seem to have noticed our presence in the system at all, suggesting that their sensors have either sustained significant damage or were never very good in the first place. In fact, it is the perfect time to strike.
Technological acquisition successful.
And guess what? I'm going to make that happen. Yes. We are definitely going to orbitally bombard this world and either erase the stain of organics or prepare them for invasion and processing.
System survey complete.
Because I definitely saw that planet first. Let's go ahead and get the planetary processor. Well, actually, I'm going to go ahead and get that bonus to naval capacity. It's definitely going to come in handy whenever we actually find some organics who are not just on a primitive planet with primitive things. But I'm definitely going to kill those guys regardless of how primitive they are. After all, they're organic life forms. Seems that we found a badly damaged military vessel bearing elaborate alien insignia that's circling Plov. The ship has sustained a heavy incendiary attack, which has melted its hull, leaving no survivors aboard. No weapons known to us today can produce temperatures high enough to cause such an effect. Perhaps the ship's logs may shed some light on its violent end.
Situation
Let's examine those logs
adjusted.
and see what's going on here. Fantastic. Recruitment of armies is completed. I can go ahead and now send them on their merry way to
Special
Algoth 2.
project complete.
And the Rubicator, aha! Analysis of the ship's logs revealed that the crew met its demise when trying to retrieve an irreplaceable alien artifact called the Rubicator. It was stolen from their society by a pack of thieving rats. A curious choice of words, as they themselves are most rat-like in appearance. The logs are mainly comprised of curses willing the rat robbers to the end of the universe and beyond. The crew has counted upwards of 50 individual words for defecation, as well as a wide selection of places from which a star's light cannot escape. But their artist's work has paid off. We have uncovered the last known location of the Rubricator in a previously uncharted system, and if we are to believe its former owners, its powers are worth pursuing. We must have the Rubricator.
Situation log adjusted. Construction
I'm
complete.
definitely going to recruit that general with that unique trait Blitz, even though it does hamper my own forces a bit with their health. It's definitely worth it with the amount of damage that they're going to cause. And let's go ahead and just
Planetary
rip them
pacification
apart.
protocols initiated.
Fantastic. We are subjugating the primitives. Our hunter-killer units have effortlessly trampled the pitiful defenses mounted by the primitive organics on Agath 2. Any remaining specimens are being systematically annihilated so that they will never evolve to threaten the galaxy with their organic agenda. Commencing weapons testing. Awesome. We will now
Construction
begin
complete.
purging the undesirables. However, I don't necessarily want their end to be quick and painless, or at least mostly quick and painless. So, nope, we definitely have it set to chemical processing. Fantastic. well, this is exactly what I wanted. I would definitely like them to be purged by processing. So we're going to burn up their bodies for energy. Good times. Let's go ahead and move a couple pops over to that world, just so we don't have to worry so much whenever it's time to, you know, actually kill all of the organics. Because then that world would become, well, quite a bit empty. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and move some of those Persian pops over there. Make sure that they're being taken care of. Fantastic, and we are going to go ahead and put up a machine assembly plant. Hopefully we'll be able to make the assembly process over here go quite a bit faster. Well, it seems like the dogs have something to bark about once again. Aha! It seems that we found a little bit more information about the Grenier. Thick layers of ash and a notable mass extinction event in the geological record coincided with material previously extracted from Grenier data crystals, suggesting the Grenier firebombed Darasa 2A with a gelling incendiary roughly 7 million years ago. Widespread deforestation of the planet's surface disrupted local ecosystems, and the lack of oxygen-fixing vegetation gradually depleted the planet's atmosphere over the next 60,000 years. That is indeed quite unfortunate for the organics, which we do not care about. So, really not unfortunate at all. In fact, the Grenier kind of did our job for us. A shame we didn't get to kill them too. Alright, we've got some more energy buildings being built. It seems like for some reason the building commands that I queued up there did not quite get all of them. Ah, fantastic. Another event. So several exemplary Bale fossils have been recovered, revealing the long-lost species to have been a hive mind. Billions of plantoid units working together as a whole, like the leaves and roots and branches of a tree. Dendrochemistry. Oh, it seems like we have an anomaly that we found out a little bit more about. Looks like the time-displaced planet. This world is emanating unexpected chronotron readings. This world has been displaced out of time by an unknown variable. Further observation and further experimentations will increase the probability of discovering the missing variables that have led to the displacement of this celestial body. Time must be studied further. Allow the learning algorithms to continue running. Fantastic. Oh no, let's see here. Back to the Bale. The lack of structural ruins on Darastath 2A appear to have been the result of the Bale's reliance on remarkable organic technology, from ships and buildings to wetware biocomputers and the ravages of time. It seems I also might have missed that little explanation there about dendrochronology, suggesting individual Bale specimens had lifetimes in the hundreds of years. Quite a long-lived species, indeed. It seems that I also have another excavation event here. When attempting to extract an item of interest from a pile of assorted bric-a-brac, your synchronized droid 138 accidentally set in motion a junk avalanche. Buried underneath it, we discovered the sooty remains of a tiny rat-like creature cradling a bottle of motherboard wash from a brand common on Stellaris 1, as if shielding it from harm. Among the clutter, there was also a tiny chest with precious alien artifacts from distant corners of the galaxy. Most excellent. Seems like we also found a solar sailor. We've discovered an abandoned solar sail ship in orbit around Renthron 2. The sublight vessel, was built by an unknown culture and appears to be several thousand years old. One of the massive sails has a large tear where some kind of object passed through, most likely a meteoroid, which appears to have disabled the vessel. Although the technology of the ship is severely outdated, it does possess some interesting engineering design choices. An interesting, albeit primitive, design. Indeed. Ah, yes. We can finally reduce the upkeep required for our science units. Fantastic. It's going to come in real handy. Go ahead and get that energy grid up and running. And let's see, we are translating an alien mural, but we don't have anybody quite working on it yet. Oh, fantastic. We have another archaeological site finished. And we found another Grineer data crystal. Fantastic. Coordinates describing the location of another former Baal colony have been extracted from a shattered Grineer data crystal. Perhaps this planet will boast some of the riches sought after by the Baal's ancient enemies. To the next colony. Great. Well, let's see where this new colony is supposed to be. Let's see. 42 years and 3 days. A closer scan of the debris field around Ranvisimios 3 has led to the discovery of an airtight capsule containing an atomic clock that measures time with unparalleled precision. It has a frequency uncertainty so low that it will be another 879 million years before it gains a single second and is counting down to a date. Excuse me, 42 years and 3 days away. The capsule holds no clues as to what this date signifies or who the owners are, but it seems as though someone out there has lost track of the time. Let's go ahead and keep an eye on it. See what happens whenever it reaches that final countdown.
Technological acquisition successful.
All right. It seems like we might have a couple of sites to extract some information from now.
Construction complete.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Oh, well, first we've got to actually do a little bit of investigating before that will appear for the Baal.
Special project complete.
Former Baal colony was shattered. The crew of the ISS 366 were initially certain they had made a triangulation mistake when deducing the coordinates of the supposed Baal colony in the Lakium system, having found nothing but asteroids where they expected a life-bearing planet. However, closer study of the asteroids' composition has revealed that they are, in fact, what remains of the former Baal colony. The once lush planet was blown into several thousand rocky pieces by some unknown collision occurring roughly 7 million years ago. Deduction suggests that Grineer played some role in the planet's dark fate. One particularly promising asteroid has been selected for further study, as it appears to possess a large number of fossilized life forms from the lost planet. of pity. Perhaps we will learn more. The only pity I can think of is that we did not do that ourselves. Seems like we also need to catch up just a little bit on our research. Get a little bit of
System
extra
survey
administrative capacity for all this new territory that we're eating up here. And it's about time that I spend a little bit of this influence as well. Get some additional resources flowing in. I'll just go ahead and activate everything. We certainly can support it. And I'm finally about to finish the Discovery tradition. Fantastic. And for my next Ascension perk, I'm going to go ahead and go with Imperial Prerogative for the administrative capacity bonus of plus 30. Fantastic. And once that research is done, I'll have another plus 20, which will be a total of 80. And that is definitely going to be more than I need right now, but that's quite all right. That is a fine name. Experiment BJWRJ. And this will definitely be an experiment. Alright. Let's go ahead and get them excavating this particular site right here. Hopefully, it will be done quite shortly. Now, I'm also going to go ahead and send out this here construction drone. Well, ship, but it's more like a drone, really. To go ahead and start building up right over here. I know I was saying that I might not want to expand out this way, but looking at these resources available here, it would definitely be worth holding these 2 points right here. I could even probably end up expanding all the way down here, assuming that someone isn't already there. And it seems like this would be the perfect place to run into another civilization. Fantastic.
Anomalous surface variable detected. Construction complete.
Get another machine assembly plant for my... Well, it seems like I might not have actually put one in there. Well, we're certainly building one now. It seems like I might have found some ancient records. Let's see, there's a protomolecule infected station. Alright. After the initial scans, the asteroid station seems abandoned and damaged by exterior energy discharges. The interior is corroded by a strange energy field. Once the focus of our sensors was set to a narrower band, they detected unusual sound patterns, ever so slightly picking up in speed. On closer observation of the interior, strange crystals and a bizarrely moving biometal core was detected. The interior crystals seemed to be consciously migrating to a single location within the station. The benefits may outweigh the risks. We'll certainly take a look and see just what's happening in there. It seems that we actually found some ancient records while looking through the ruins.
System survey complete.
And synchronized droid 138 reports that the records contain several technological specifications that may be of value to our scientists. 350 physics. Research is definitely welcome. I suppose that at this time I'll go ahead and put in a sentinel post. I was going to wait for my capital upgrade, but since that hasn't quite come yet, I'll go ahead and put up some sentinel posts to track down any units that might be expressing deviancy traits and decommission them. And we are finally colonizing the super habitable world to exploit all of its wonderful resources. Fantastic. Alright, let's see what we got going on now. That might have been a little bit of an awkward cut. Just had to take care of my dog real quick. He's a bit of an old man, likes to go to sleep pretty early, and he really wanted to go to bed. So it seems that we've managed to extract some data fragments from a particularly well-preserved Vale biocomputer fossil. This 10 million year old relic appears to contain pedagogical information intended for immature members of the species, not yet ready to see the full range of the hive mind's neural connection. Young Vale or saplings were introduced to growth techniques, horticulture, and nutrition in a more curated experience. These findings suggest Vale society prized terrestrial landscaping and ecosystem management, and were also highly dependent on it for their survival. Intriguing indeed.
Technological acquisition successful.
Let's go ahead and see about removing some dangerous wildlife. Upgrade our coil guns. And I would definitely like to see about some blue lasers. Far superior to red lasers. Even though the red ones go faster. Alright.
System survey complete.
Great. Already unlocking more traditions, and it seems like the dogs once again have something to go nuts about. You know what? Let's go ahead and start digging into prosperity. Some of these bonuses are rather nice, and I definitely want to improve my general economy, especially giving that really nice 5% specialist drone bonus. It seems like we also found another anomaly. Fantastic. You know, here's one of my favorite star types they added in real space. We've got a micro quasar, which has a companion star that it is currently sucking solar matter off of. Of course, you can see that quasar is swirling around the solar energy. Looks really cool. Seems that someone might have used a mining laser from orbit approximately 5,000 years ago to carve a large body of writing into the surface of Parsecs 5. This massive script covers a large portion of the planet's upper hemisphere and appears to be a short story chronicling the difficult life of an alien mercenary. Fascinating indeed. Must have had a real ego if he decided to go ahead and just carve into a planet to tell a story. Alright, let's go ahead and get some starbase upgrades going. I did not realize that we had that much alloys. The discovery of another ancient Bale biocomputer remnant has yielded further insight into the planetoid hive mind's history. The Bale appear to have originated from a single planet, its location unknown, as mere plant life. Prehistoric Bale were all clones of the parent plants, and gradually developed the capacity for hive consciousness over millions of years of slow, peaceful growth on their home planet. Remarkable indeed. Seems we've also found a Grenadier data crystal, and that is recovered on B12 Attack 2646, dating to some 7 million years ago. The data crystal contains partially readable military records pertaining to the planet's invasion. Apparently, the Grenadier were expecting some measure of armed resistance and were not impressed by the incredibly slow-moving Baol. The record describes the ease with which Baol's delayed responses were circumvented in a highly derogatory fashion. Interesting. The Grenadier do not seem like people you would want to invite to a dinner party, or rather invite anywhere at all.
Construction complete. Construction complete.
It seems that we have found the Rubicator. At the coordinates for the Rubicator's last known location, we have discovered a habitable planet with what we believe may be some form of settlement covering a large portion of its surface. The settlement consists of tall, pile-like towers visible all the way from space. Our archaeologists are eager to excavate it in search of the Rubicator. Let's go ahead and start digging, see what we find.
Technological acquisition successful.
All right. That's great. I'm advancing quite steadily. Hopefully I'll find someone rather soon to test myself on. See if all this time I've spent building up is going to amount to anything.
System survey complete.
It seems like we've also found some Grenadier battle orders. Another Grenadier data crystal has been unearthed, detailing a series of military orders, including the coordinates of another former Baol colony. Our archaeologists are eager to further unravel the history of these two foes, and they're uploading the data now. Well, it seems that the third time is the charm, and we can go ahead and take a look here, see what we can find. It seems that we might need a moment to go ahead and locate this particular settlement, and it seems that we might have also contacted some enigmatic spacefarers.
Construction complete.
Oh, we seem to have found a science vessel of another alien race. That means contact is imminent, and I should expect to go to war quite soon here. Fantastic. Alright, let's go ahead and get that situation log back up and running. Let's find us a Baol colony, and oh my lord, it seems that we've ran into the Onatok cartel, a criminal syndicate that it seems is definitely willing to try to kill me. This is quite unfortunate. Well, let's go ahead and see what we can do here. seems like we might need to try to beat them down towards
Construction
these particular
complete.
little constellations here. And we have quite a little bit in here to fill in, but we should definitely prepare for war. Well, let's go ahead and see what the comparison is. Oh wow, they already have an overwhelming fleet power compared to us. Well, that's interesting. Well, with that being said, we should certainly prepare ourselves for war. Let's go ahead and see about reducing those upkeeps to try to accommodate a larger fleet. And with that being said, I'm definitely going to go ahead and erect some more alloy foundries.
Technological acquisition
And
successful.
you know, I think with everything that's went ahead and transpired tonight here, I'm going to go ahead and call this a night, at least for this particular episode. I'm going to go ahead and produce some more content. I should have it up almost immediately after I upload this. So it may not seem like much of a lapse to y'all, but I will definitely be sleeping in between now and the next episode. I'm going to go ahead and just go ahead and clear this out real quick. I'm going to go ahead and save this game after I queue up one more research. And then I'll go ahead and edit this video. Let's see about getting it posted up. And then start on the next episode. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Y'all take care and have a wonderful rest of y'all's day.